In the summer of 2019, a single startup held billions in the bank, and the world was convinced its charismatic founder was the second coming of Steve Jobs. Just 6 weeks later, that entire sprawling empire, once valued at an astonishing $47 billion, completely evaporated into thin air. The man at the center of this collapse was Adam Neumann. He possessed a reality distortion field so powerful, he convinced the smartest investors on Earth that his office leasing company was going to elevate the world's consciousness. But taking a private company public requires a pit stop in Washington. You have to file a formal disclosure with the Securities and Exchange Commission. It's called an S-1. Filing this document is a legal requirement that strips away a private company's privacy, exposing its audited spreadsheets to public scrutiny for the first time. When WeWork released this single financial filing, it detonated their entire narrative. The numbers exposed the fake-it-till-you-make-it culture that had defined the company's rapid ascent. If you flip open the first few pages of WeWork's S1, you immediately notice a glaring absence. There is no software code, no proprietary hardware, and no revolutionary tech product. What you find instead is arbitrage. WeWork signed rigid 15-year leases for massive empty offices. Then they chopped those spaces up, added cool furniture and free beer, and sublet them on month-to-month contracts at a massive premium. They were simply a commercial landlord. Yet Neumann successfully convinced venture capitalists, most notably Masayoshi's son of SoftBank, to value this physical landlord business as if it were an infinitely scalable software company. Investors bought into the hype of a physical social network, ignoring the grounded reality of traditional commercial real estate. Applying Silicon Valley growth metrics to a business strictly constrained by square footage and concrete created a massive, highly levered financial bubble. Past the business model description, you hit the income statement, and this is where the math turns terrifying. This chart shows the reality of their global expansion. For every single dollar WeWork brought in, they were spending nearly $2 to get it. The document revealed a net loss of $1.9 billion in a single year. To mask this aggressive cash bleed, the company used a fabricated accounting metric. They called it community-adjusted EBITDA, effectively trying to hide their massive everyday expenses from the ledger. While the core business bled cash, Neumann's corporate spending was entirely unchecked. The S1 listed a $60 million private Gulfstream jet. It also detailed millions poured into a wave pool facility and a superfood startup, investments with zero connection to renting out office space. Then came the disclosures of blatant self-dealing. Neumann was personally buying buildings and then leasing them back to his own company. At one point, he trademarked the word "we" and charged the company $5.9 million for the rights to use it. These disclosures showed a company structure designed to subsidize Neumann's lifestyle, using investor capital to pay for his personal trademarks and private properties. In August 2019, the blind faith of private venture capital collided directly with the scrutiny of the public market. When Wall Street analysts finally read the S1, they flatly refused to buy in. The toxic unit economics and the severe conflicts of interest were impossible to ignore. The initial public offering was immediately pulled. Over the course of just 6 weeks, WeWork's $47 billion valuation plummeted to zero, leaving the company on the edge of bankruptcy. Adam Neumann was forced out as CEO. Yet, despite driving the enterprise to the brink of ruin, he was handed a $1.7 billion exit package to walk away. The fallout changed the standards for venture capital. Investors shifted their focus from rapid expansion to verifiable profit margins. Boundless charisma and billions in venture capital can buy a massive valuation, but if your underlying business model lacks actual value and defies basic financial logic, gravity will always bring you crashing back down to earth.